Most people chase numbers, but sovereigns chase meaning. See, everyone wants to be a millionaire until they realise the word means nothing anymore. A million used to symbolise freedom, now it barely buys peace. But here's what almost nobody understands. Becoming a Satoshi millionaire isn't about the commas in your wallet, it's about the clarity in your mind. It's not a financial milestone, it's a spiritual awakening disguised as a number on a screen. Now, I just quickly want to chuck this in here in case you haven't seen this. Sovereign by Design, this is a completely free course of mine, and what I'll do is link it down in the description below. See, a fiat millionaire plays a game built on sand. Their wealth expands only when more money is printed. Their success depends on debt, stimulus, and trust in a system designed to extract more than it gives. But a Satoshi millionaire, well, they play a game that no one can rig, because every sat they hold is proof they stopped renting their future. They no longer need permission to exist inside the illusion of safety, because the real flex isn't your balance, it's your detachment. You stopped measuring life in paper that melts and started measuring it in time that can't be stolen. See, becoming a Satoshi millionaire isn't about owning 100 million tiny digital coins, it's about owning yourself again. Now, every sat is a signal, a fragment of incorruptible truth, and when you hold it, you hold a mirror to the world and see what money was meant to be, a reflection of value, not a weapon of control. Now, the fiat system taught you to measure everything in excess. More cars, more digits, more noise. But Bitcoin teaches you subtraction, less trust, less middlemen, less dependency, until all that remains is what's real. See, picture this. Two people, same city, same paycheck. One spends their weekends chasing dopamine through consumption, upgrades, subscriptions, and distractions, and the other quietly stacks sats. Now, they don't announce it, they don't flex, they don't even check the price. Now, they're not buying Bitcoin, they're buying time. And every small consistent act of stacking becomes a rebellion that no politician can regulate. Now, years later, when the headline screams crisis again, with banks closing, currencies collapsing, promises evaporating, one of them panics, but the other sleeps peacefully. Because sovereignty doesn't come from prediction, it comes from preparation. See, imagine reaching that first million sats. You check the number, smile, and realise something subtle. Now, it's not about being early, it's about being ready. Now you start seeing the world differently. Bills feel like illusions, savings accounts feel like traps, and suddenly wealth is no longer what you can spend, it's what you can withstand. Now you start optimizing for freedom instead of followers, clarity instead of clout, and energy instead of envy. And you stop asking, how do I make more? And you start asking, what's worth holding onto? And that's when you know you've crossed over from consumption to creator, from wage slave to sovereign individual, and from fiat millionaire to Satoshi millionaire. Now, most people think becoming rich changes their life, but becoming sovereign changes your reality. A fiat millionaire can lose everything with one policy decision. A Satoshi millionaire can't be printed away, censored, or inflated into poverty. Now, this isn't about money anymore, it's about memory, because Bitcoin is what happens when humanity remembers what value feels like, when the individual becomes the bank, and trust returns to self. Now, that's the real meaning of becoming a Satoshi millionaire. Now, not wealth you flaunt, but wealth that frees. So if you're stacking, keep going. Not for bragging rights, not for price targets, but for the quiet moment when you look at your wallet and you realise that every sat you own is one less piece of your life controlled by someone else. Now, a Satoshi Millionaire isn't rich. They're unreachable. And in the next era of money, that will be the only wealth that matters. Now, if you want to understand what true wealth really feels like, not the kinds you can tax, freeze, or devalue, then start with your first million sats. Then keep stacking until freedom isn't a dream, but your default setting. Now, one last time, I just quickly want to chuck this in here again. Sovereign by Design. If you want to come and check this out, there'll be a link for this down in the description below. Now, I am also going to quickly chuck this in here as well. I recently started a Facebook page, so if you want to come through and give me a follow, I'll link this down in the description as well. Now, if you've made it this far and if you're not too sure what to watch next, well, I have this playlist for you just here, which you can go ahead and binge watch if you enjoy watching my content, or if you just want a quick single little video, you can watch this one just here, recommended to you by YouTube.